Well, let's get the latest on the situation on the ground with retired Air Vice Marshal Sean Bell. Sean, thanks a lot for being here. So what is the latest?
Despite the fact the spring arrived yesterday, there's been heavy snow in Bakhmut over the last few days. We had some video footage from a few days ago, but 8 months of intensive fighting, so you can see the video footage here. Actually, the levels of Russian attacks have fallen they're down to about 25% of the level they once were. The video shows the Wagner group getting very close to the centre, to the city admin building. They're about 400 metres away from that. That's been geolocated. But if we move out to the maps, the little red icon is actually where the Wagner group have got to. The Russians are pushing into the centre, but the Ukrainians are still holding ground and actually protecting their resupply routes. But it does seem to have got a bit stagnant. But if we look wider, though, this fight isn't just fighting here. It's 1,200 kilometres of front line, and all the way along there's fighting. Two good examples. Avdiivka there, just south of Bakhmut. The Russians have been trying to encircle that for the last few months, almost certainly stalled. And down to the south, Marinka, the Russians have been trying to seize that since the start of the war. 14 months in, they've made an advance of 2 kilometres. Just shows how difficult the fighting is along the whole front line.
Why are the Russians struggling so much?
80 days into this conflict, the Russian offensive was designed to seize the Donbass by the 31st of March. They've thrown 300,000 soldiers at it. They've devastated the city, and yet they seem to have run out of steam. Now, from a military perspective, you'd pause. But they've not. They've just got themselves wrapped in a rolling, sort of grinding war of attrition. Ukraine is one of the reasons it's a stoical defence. One of the reasons poor Russian tactics. MOD said the other day it was 200,000 Russian casualties. And also they've done it in winter. Russians should not have attacked it winter. It does restrict your options.
So why don't they pause and regroup, the Russians?
Following a series of military failures, Putin put Gerasimov in charge, who runs the Russian army. He organised and led the invasion of Crimea, but he's failed to make a difference here. And frankly, he's bound to political pressure now just to make whatever progress they can make. I think what's going to happen is that what he should be doing from a military perspective is eroding, preserving his combat power ready for the Ukrainian offence. In fact, what he's doing is just wasting it. And the danger is that whatever happens, there's going to be a few military heads roll, I have no doubt, but that's not going to solve this systemic problem within the Russian military.